some ulama explained Yajooj and Magog to her that they are people with strange faces, and she is asking, who are Yajooj and Magog? Are they those who are the people who are doing bad things in the world, or who are they?
But what is the ulama? What is it which ulama have told her?
That they are people with strange faces.
What strange faces?
Maybe long, great, big, with eyes like
gorillas?
this, like maybe something.
Gorillas, no?
Yes.
Also, they believe in gorillas to be Yajooj Majooj then?
That's what we hear.
They have strange faces themselves, unfortunately, who believe in these distorted things. Yajooj Majooj is a concept found in Surah Al-Kahf and discussed in depth and detail as to what Yajooj Majooj are. And this concept belongs to two people, in fact. And this reference is also to the biblical prophecy found in Ezekiel, where Gog and Magog are mentioned. And they are mentioned as a people, human beings, powerful things, will conquer the world. People of Russia are referred to as Yajooj. And in one of the verses of Ezekiel, we find that, O Yajooj Rus, the word Rus is also used. You will deny me, you will deny my existence, as the communist philosophy is an atheistic philosophy, it doesn't believe in God. And you will do this, and you will spread, and you will become powerful, and you will capture many states around, and then you will turn to me, ultimately, finally defying me and my people. Then I'll break your snout with my bansuri. Bansuri is the pipe with, this pipe, flute. Flute is the translation of bansuri? That's right. With my flute.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. You should do it like this, So I will break your snout with my flute. Now this verse helps us understand the verses of the Holy Quran in which Gog and Magog are mentioned as Yajooj and Majooj. But remember this, both words are derived from fire. Ajja wa Majja, both are derived basically from the infinite of fire. And Aj is pronounced Ag in Urdu as well, which means fire. So anything of fiery nature is described. And this is a very important observation which you should keep in mind now, because there is something to follow. But let me first lay the foundation for what I'm going to tell you. Yajooj Majooj are a two powerful people who would appear in the world at a certain time. And there would be a wall of some sort. That wall will be broken at last. And Yajooj and Majooj will be kept confined away from the rest of the world behind the wall, will suddenly inundate the rest of the world. And they will move on to the rest of the world and capture it like Amwaj Julbar, like Moj. And the word Moj is also derived from the same word, like fire. The water, when it splashes and which moves in waves, that is also called Moj. So it has two connotations. They will be fiery people, or they will use fire for their gaining supremacy over the world, and they will use oceans and spread like oceanic waves, wave after wave, conquering and inundating the rest of the world. This is the basic character of Yajooj and Majooj. Remember this. Apart from this, Surah Al-Kahf discusses largely Dajjal. Now the word Dajjal is not mentioned, amazingly. But at the same time, Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who understood the Quran the best, he told us that if you want to save yourself, protect yourself from the mischief of Dajjal, then when you go to sleep, read the first 10 verses of the Surah Al-Kahf and the last 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf. Then you will be able to protect yourself against Dajjal. How? What do the verses speak about? They speak of Christianity. The first verses are completely dedicated to Christianity. And their description, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا ماكثين فيه أبدا وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا ما لهم به من علم ولا لآبائهم كبرت كلمة تخرج من أفواههم إن يقولون إلا كذبا فلعلك باخع نفسك على آثارهم إن لم يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث أسفا. How many verses?
It's 10.
These are the verses which speak of Christianity, and the Christianity which will go wrong, which will begin to worship Jesus as Son of God. And this is an enormity. From then on, their downfall will begin. And what will happen? After they break God into 2 and 3, they'll go on breaking the image of God into saints and go on worshipping saintly people. And that is the journey which was described in the Holy Quran, the Christianity was to take. So what has it got to do with Dajjal? This means that Dajjal is not a one-eyed monster like people believe. It is the Christian nations who are mentioned by the Holy Quran as Dajjal, because they will change the basic character and personality of Jesus Christ. They will destroy the true image of Jesus Christ and turn him into something which he was not. And from then on, they will go on moving from belief in one God, moving from monotheism to idolatry and belief in multiple existence of God. This is the message delivered in the first 10 verses of Surah Surah Al-Kahf. And this was told to us by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that remember this, if you want to save yourself from Dajjal, heed these. And the message is clear. You should save yourself from the people mentioned herein and their fitna. What about the last 10 verses? The journey which started with this, with belief in one God being split into 2, 3, 4 and further on, that journey ends up where? The verses speak, أَفَحَسَبَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَن يَتَّخِذُوا عِبَادِي مِن دُونِي أَوْلِيَاءَ إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا جَهَنَّمَ لِلْكَافِرِينَ نُزُلًا. There is no question of 2 gods and 3 gods now. Ibadi min duni. So many saints are now being worshipped in Christianity. Even thousands. And go to to Rome and different churches, everywhere there is a new saint and new God created out of a saint. So this is the introduction of Dajjal, to which Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam pointed out, Allah has already told you what Dajjal is. Why don't you follow it? And then beware of Dajjal and the tendencies of Dajjal, how they change religions into man-made hocus pocus. Nothing of the true divine truth is left in that religion. But it also relates to the material progress of these people. This will be the religious picture. They will be blind in the right eye. They will have no knowledge of what God is. After all, they will be completely blind in religious matters. But in material things, the Holy Quran says in the end, فَحَسِبَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَن يَتَّخِذُوا عِبَادِي مِن دُونِي أَوْلِيَاءَ إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا جَهَنَّمَ لِلْكَافِرِينَ نُزُلًا قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُم بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا الَّذِينَ ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. The same people will become completely materialistic. The right eye will see nothing. The left eye will grow big and very bright. And they will say that we have achieved so much by pursuing the material things and making new things, that they will say, أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. They are the most wonderful industrialists in the world. Yosenuna, Sona, is literally to be translated as the most beautiful industrialists in the whole world. And this is exactly what they claim, and this is exactly what they are. In industry, they excel the whole world. Even Japan learned industry from them, from these people. So these are the two figures of the same thing, or same entity, that is the Antichrist. So the word Antichrist given to the image of the Dajjal is a beautiful word. There will be Christians, yet they will be Antichrist, because they will not believe in true Christ, the one who is so wonderful that seldom such prophets appeared in the world. Yet following him, believing in him, loving him, they will begin to love an image which is not Christ. The same they will do to God. They will begin their journey with the belief in God, but ultimately begin to believe in something which God is not. And that is what the Holy Quran speaks of as enormity. إِن يَقُولُونَ إِلَّا كَذِبًا كَبُرَتْ كَلِمَةً تَخْرُجُ مِنْ أَفْوَاهِهِمْ. So in the light of this, you should now understand what Yajooj, Majooj are. Yajooj, Majooj are the Western people in their political and economical and industrial advancement. The Dajjal is the image of Christianity which has gone away from true Christianity. So in a way, in a manner of speaking, the future of Christianity is described as a split personality. One, the religious personality. That is the personality of their church fathers and leaders and those who propound Christianity all over the world. And the other is their political image and materialistic image and industrial image. And there they move wave after wave, covering the whole world, all the lands of the world, and conquer them and bring them under their control. These are Yajooj, Majooj. So when you read Ezekiel, and you of course understand this is a reference to the same people, and they are the Western people, highly industrialized, highly powerful, who have a specific relationship with sea and a specific relationship with fire, because they are termed Yajooj and Majooj. You see, the whole modern world has progressed on the basis of their inventions relating to fire. All their modes of travel are fire powered, driven with force of power. All their ammunition is fire powered. In olden days, they knew only the swords, hand driven swords and hand driven arrows and this and that. And donkeys never had fire, camels never had fire. So the age of fire is mentioned with the mention of Yajooj and Majooj, and the age of their spread through their naval supremacy over the rest of the world. This is exactly how they have appeared. So I don't want to take more time on this. There are other questions to follow, but I think in brief I have built the whole picture which is presented to us by Surah Al-Kahf.
Yes, Hadur, I'm going to translate this, but Hadur mentioned a sort of wall keeping them. Then we will
first translate and
yes,
then I will
inshallah. Yes, Hadur.
Now I'll once again return to the question of Yajooj and Majooj. I understand that the main thrust of Christianity will be carried with the help of Yajooj and Majooj, because they will be the military, political and economic entity of the Dajjal. The Dajjal, as a religious deceiver, will not go in front and conquer things. It will be Yajooj, Majooj who will be seen conquering things. They will move on fire, on waves, and bring under their command the entire world. Behind them will come the Dajjal, the faith of Christianity, distorted faith of Christianity, not of the Holy Jesus Christ, but the faith which is they themselves will describe as Antichrist. So this is why Yajooj Majooj is mentioned and Dajjal is not mentioned, because Dajjal is something which is hidden, which is not seen. That is why devil is described in the Holy Quran as thing we can't see. It comes from right and left and behind and from front. You don't see. So they move as powers, as nations. And this is the history of the recent history of Christian powers, which has no exception. They always moved with pomp and power, with all their new inventions, conquered places, conquered Africa, conquered India, conquered part of Arabia, and following them came the Lashkar, or the armies of priests and the Christian evangelizers and so on and so forth. So it's a beautiful, wonderful book, the Holy Quran. It tells us how the thrust of the Dajjaliyat will be made. It will be done first with material supremacy. Then will follow all this. And this is exactly what has happened, in fact, in the world. Now coming to the question of this wall, which wall is that? You see, in an age of aeroplanes, of rocketry, where the Dajjal himself is mentioned by Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to possess a fire-driven donkey who will be able to fly above the cloud lines. Now you remember this is a very important clue to the understanding of the wall. Do the mullahs believe that the wall would be as high as 30,000 feet? And it will be because of that the planes will not be able to cross over, but they can cross even that. They have reached the height of the moon and beyond. So this wall has to be something else. That is a wall which we know was created and maintained by the Muslim powers against the onslaught of Europe into the East and their religion as well. You know, the wall the Holy Quran is talking about began from the east of Ottoman Empire and extended up to the west of Spain. That wall was responsible for hundreds of years to stop the onslaught of the Western nations and their penetration deep into the East. You see what happened in Spain? All the battles fought by Saladin, which are called the Crusades. I'm sorry, the Crusades, or we refer to them as the battles of the Crescent. They were responsible for stopping southern and western Europe in particular, but also northern Europe. Even King Richard of England was stopped by the great Prince Saladin, and also by Nuruddin before him, and also by others who followed. So there was a long time in the history of confrontation of the West and the East when it was the Muslim forces of Al-Maghrib who were largely responsible for creating a wall in the south of Spain, of Europe, which could not be penetrated until they lifted the wall across onto the European territory and pushed it further through Spain to France, and they reached very close to Paris. This is the wall which was broken at last from one end. And there was another wall of Ottoman Empire which extended from the east of Turkey to Syria and Palestine, etc. The Holy Land of Islam, Al-Hijaz, was also protected by the same wall. This was broken again, unfortunately, with the help of Muslims. The first wall was also broken by the treachery of Muslims. So they were deceived into believing, some sections, that we are your friends, do this and we'll do this, we'll give you authority over this land, rebel against your authority and so on. The same tactics were used by the Dajjal in Spain as were used in Saudi Arabia and the countries around, whereby they told them that, look here, rise against the Ottoman Empire. Who are they to rule you? What right have the Turks to become the supreme masters of the world of Islam? Islam spread from you, came from you. You own the Holy Lands. Mecca and Medina lies within your territory. If anyone has a right to rule, you have. So they followed, they broke the long stretched line of defense of the Ottoman Empire and attacked the railways and destroyed them, and until this wall was no more. This created the inundation, the flood. Through these two broken walls, Europe started moving eastward and with full force. Had this wall not been broken, Suez Canal could never have been built. See? Again, there is a wall, yes, which is also physical, made of stones and molten metal, etc. That also is mentioned. So it is the beauty of the Quran, by speaking of the word wall, describing it to be very strong. It also speaks of the material wall as well as the metaphorical walls, which really mean, which are more important than the physical wall. So I started the explanation with reference to the metaphorical wall, which matters most because when these two walls, who extended into each other, were broken, the flood of Europe into East and Middle East and Far East would not be stopped. The other wall is towards China, opening, stretching between Russia and the areas beyond. And this is a material wall. But because the time is over, we'll speak of that wall, inshallah, next morning. Tomorrow. You see, this is important because this wall was the original wall, which was built before Islam. And by the time Islam came, it was already practically broken and demolished, and it was no longer a barrier between the people of one side and the other. So this is the beauty of the Quran. It speaks of a wall in the past which was built and served a purpose. But a wall will also be built in future. That will also serve a purpose. But when that is destroyed, then Yajooj, Majooj will have a free hand in the rest of the world.
Wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.